Peace, greetings, and a blessed morning to everybody. And today in Miracle Time, we have a miracle man in our space, Dr. Serge Gravelle. Why do I call him the miracle man? I'll tell you in a while. And it's really wonderful. Welcome, Dr. Serge.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Azeeza. It's a pleasure being with you and your group today.
Yes, and it's going to be fun. As always, in the Miracle Time, we have our guests playing the Miracle Game with us. What we have done in this weekly session, and this is week number 9 of the Miracle Time, whereas we have run the Miracle Game, Let's Play the Miracle Game sessions like for months right now, every Sunday at this time. And we're really happy that we're having very wonderful feedback on these sessions because as a project of Go Global Business School, we have been very delighted to be empowering and inspiring people with the magical moments that we have experienced, recollecting back what miracles happened in your life, and again, reaffirming that miracles are possible and available for us every day in our life. So that's the idea behind this. And we're very happy that today Dr. Serge Gravelle is joining us. So I have to tell you why he's the miracle man. I've known him for a while, and as the founder of Global Sparks International USA, he is that is a nonprofit charity-owned portal that does amazing work with his organization, the Rene Foundation, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Ranor Foundation.
Ranor.
Yeah.
And you need to tell me about that today, all right? So all that work he's been doing as a philanthropist is what his passion, when it is all driven from as a leader in his work across the globe. And he's traveled to Asia in the last 20 years, reaching out to hundreds and thousands of business leaders in Chinese language and China, and especially in Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, and Hong Kong, and all these countries. So he's such a businessman, yet with such a big heart. And we love his work and the kind of process he's been putting himself through, going through his own journey with his being a French Canadian, staying in USA. That's a very interesting combination. And I have to say why I'm saying he's a miracle man, because we connected last year with all that we wanted to do with our Go Global Business School. And he came with this amazing space and portal for us to partner with. And right now, as a co-founder of Go Global Technologies, we are very happy to have him as a partner in our space. And it's been a huge blessing, Dr. Serge, for you in our life.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Azeeza. Maybe it was a blessing for you, but it's definitely a blessing for me also. It's been a tremendous journey.
Yes, thank you so much. And today we are going to be playing the game. Are you ready for the game?
Oh, absolutely. I've been following you, since the beginning. I think I missed maybe 2 or 3 all that time. And I'm an avid follower of yours. And I'm so excited to get on the Sunday morning, which is Friday night for me, and to play that game.
Saturday night.
Saturday night for me. Is that what? Oh, sorry. Maybe I said something else. Saturday night for me and Sunday morning for you.
That's right. And it's really fun. And of course, you're following the program. And I have to ask the question of the morning, which is, do you believe in miracles?
Oh, for me, I am a miracle. That's the thing. I'm only one of the, I don't know, what's the population on the planet right now? Were we at 8 billion? I lost count.
Yes.
So we 8 billion miracle. But to me, just the fact that we're living is a miracle in itself. And so everything else to me is just adding to it, and us talking today, you're almost exactly opposite of the world to me. Middle of the day here, it's almost the night, and we talk like we're just next to each other.
Yes.
And so we see miracles all around us all the time. So do I believe in miracles? I never really ask myself that question, because I believe that we are living in a miracle all the time, every day.
Very beautifully said. Thank you so much, Dr. Serge. I think that's wonderful to have you, affirm that. And thank you for your wisdom. And so right now we're going to play the game. and we're going to
Good.
jump into the game. And so let's go in there. You know how it's played, and this game book was launched in 2013 in as a gamified ebook in
Yeah.
Singapore National Library. We really, compiled these. I will call them words of messages that was channeled through me when I was going through some of the toughest time in my life in 2012, 13, and at the 11, 12. Sorry, at that time it was aha moment. If you say that, instead of complaining, I went into aha moments for myself, and it was on Facebook that one of my friend compiled it, and here we are in an ebook, and we have 100 quotes, or rather messages here. And this is not tarot card reading, as we always say. It is about getting into clarity. As we say, we get into clarity of what is the message that we need to get right now when the whole world is full of messages. What is the message that we need to get right now? So this is how we play it. We take a deep breath in and really grounding yourself, and think of a challenge or a question you want to answer to. And then think of a number between 1 to 100. And you can tell me a number.
37.
Okay, so here we go. That's our card book. You seeing that? Okay, 37. All right, let's zoom that in. Okay, I'm going to pull down a bit. Okay, that's 37. Can you read it?
No,
Okay, I'll read it.
yeah, you
No
read it.
problem.
I don't have
No
my
problem.
glasses. I'm sorry.
No problem. Judgments may be passed, words may be thrown, negative energy may be transmitted. Being in the space of love and compassion, focusing and getting into action on what needs to be delivered will be and is rewarded with desired results by the divine force.
There we go. I got my answer.
So, do you want to talk about that?
Oh, absolutely. And actually, it was kind of a challenge, not to you directly, but to miracle time, because sometimes we think that miracles are things about health, or family, an issue, a problem that you have, or whatever. And to me, my question to myself today was about technology. Is that what technology do I use for that huge event that you are part of, actually, Inspirathon, starting December, 1,000 people in 20 days, 24 hours a day. It's never been done. I've done some research, never been done on the internet. It's the first ever. And how there's so many things that some certain different ways I could use it, I could do it, but what really are we going to use for the backbone of it and all that? And I was kind of praying for an answer for the last a week, at least 1 week, because I've been focusing on that. And one thing that I realized, that we just you just said a moment ago about the past things, and I realized I was stuck a bit with things that I've been using, and kind of having a bit of resistance to change, and now made me realize that, yeah, it doesn't matter what I used before, if it can be adapted, great, and all that, but I shouldn't be afraid to move on and get to the newer thing. And then right away, as you were saying that, the light came on and said, oh yeah, that's the one that I need to get now. So now we all set, I have to go to work now.
Yes, focusing and getting into action on what
Yeah,
needs to be
yeah.
delivered.
I'll be working on it tonight, I can assure you, before going
Yes,
to bed.
yes, yes, yes. Oh my God, you work so late, and you're so good at it. And you know what? It's now 11:11 in Singapore.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, such a magical number at this time. You're saying this message, and all divinely guided. So I want to ask you, when we talk about judgments and, negative energies and all of that, people are always surrounded by this. And what is your, thoughts around it? How do people, What are your thoughts around it?
Well, I've been blessed, I think, with some obstacles in my life when I was relatively early. I remember being about 20, 24, 25-year old, I was talking to a man, a very high-end businessman, and he said, I don't believe what you're saying because you're not old enough to have been all those experiences and all that. And that made me realize how much I had done in my life already without realizing it. And the thing is that it created a series of protective shells or shields around me. And I create a kind of a system that I give. It's internal. It's in my thought that I surround myself with a kind of huge protective area around me when there's negative things happening. When I fly a plane, for example, instead of turbulence and all that, I just shield myself with that, and I know it's going to be okay. So when I meet with people that are not as positive as people like you or me and some people that I work with. I kind of create that environment around myself to protect myself against those thoughts, because one thing that I was lucky to realize, what one of my mentors taught me: anything in everything, every single word that you hear during every moment of your life is an opinion. Somebody giving you their opinion on something. It could be a
Based on
fact.
their experience.
It could be a fact, but it is still their opinion. So for me, when whatever people talk to me and they're negative about something, it's only their opinion. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's good. It's just their opinion, in anything and everything. And my earlier in my life was related to sports, but then I adapted that to other things. And now in my foundation, what we've created with you and other people, the platform, the online educational platform. I mean, I stopped talking. Actually, I never really asked people what they thought about it, from about having their opinion of is it a good thing or not. I was just only asking, if you had something like that, if you had access to that, what would you like to see? So I was questioning them in a way that whatever their question, their answer would be, it would be positive to me. Even if their answer was negative, I would take it from a positive point of view, because it would be things that I had to work on with the platform. So but it's easier said than done, you know and some people love to be told negative things because they live in that negative environment, and that's how they feel comfortable doing, and they don't want to move forward. It's almost like an addiction. I have one addiction, is chocolate. I love chocolate, but at the same time, there's some control that I have and all that. I don't eat chocolate all the time, but I'm saying is that if you offer me chocolate and something else, I will always almost 100% take the chocolate. So I'm not addicted in the quantity. I'm addicted to the quality of it. And so so my point is that, you can receive those negative elements the way you decide. You interpret what they're saying. And that's the way I see it. People tell me something negative, and it's not necessarily about me. It could be about what the work I'm doing. It could be about my family. It could be just the way I walk. It doesn't matter what it is. I always, I interpret that as, oh, that person is seeing it that way. I'm not saying, oh, this is how I am. Not that, oh, it's a bad thing for me. Is that, oh, this is how that person perceives it. So then
Yes.
I use it as either to correct it, or do something about it, or not doing anything about it if I don't want to do anything about it. So that's the way I see, when we talk about negativity around and all that. And so it's very easy to get negative. And actually, there are days that, and there are times that I'm not as positive as other time. I have to work on myself. I have to talk to myself. I have to build that shield around myself. And I'm human, I, like everyone, I've cried in my life. I will cry again, and I cried of joy, and I cried of sadness, and it's just a matter of what you do with that. When people, that's kind of my conclusion of that. When people use negative comments or you hear negative elements, it will affect you only from the way that you react to it, what you
Very
do with it. That
nice.
that's what will stay with you. That's what is, it will remain, and that's what builds you. So who you are is determined by how you react by adversity, how you react to negative things, how you react to other people, how you react to bad things and to good things.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. Negativity is just, something that is not positive, but it has a value. It cannot be always positive. There has to be something to work on, to improve, and things like that. So
You
that's
know,
my take on that.
when you talk about it, it's a very important point you brought up, and of course, everything you said is like nailed on. I mean, spot on. What I wanted to say is the part when you say the way that we react. So, how much are we in our own clarity and in our space of love and compassion? I mean, today's, that topic when you read it out, it was in the space of love and compassion. Only then, and that's not towards anybody but ourselves. Only then we can focus. If not, we lose focus and we get distracted and diverted to other things. And I feel like you are one such person. I know, like you kind of like stay really on focus in that sense. You don't get anything. You don't go into reaction for anything. I've known you for this long.
Yeah, I try not to.
Not seen you react yet. Oops.
But Dr. Aziza, I am French Canadian, and French Canadians are known to have, to be emotional, to work with passion and all that. So sometimes it's boiling inside, and so I have a personality that you have a certain personality that I keep in control most of the time, and pretty almost all the time, I should say. I don't remember the last time I got mad. Maybe the only time I would get mad is behind the wheel when I'm driving and people cut me off and all that. Sometimes I will catch myself at being really upset at them, and I has nothing to do with me what they're doing. It absolutely nothing to do with me, and I get into that. I let myself dragged into, I'm assuming, their issue, their problem, because if they're, driving dangerously, there's an issue somehow. I don't know what their issue is. It's maybe because they need to get there on time, but there could be sometime good reasons to be there on time. I know a long time, I've never told the story about that, but many years ago, I got arrested, the police, 180 kilometers an hour. That is very fast. When
It's
the speed limit is 100, I was going 180 kilometers. And the reason is because I just had lost a child, a baby from my wife, and I had promised her that I would be there at a certain time. It's not. I'm not saying it's an excuse. Yeah, there's no excuse to go that fast. But I was in that frame of mind that I was going there, whatever what, and there was nobody on the road and all that. But except there was one car, there was a police car. So, I got arrested, lost my permit for my driver's license for a year and all that. But the thing is that we're human beings. Sometimes things, triggers something inside of us that makes us react a certain way. And even we try to keep control and all that. Sometimes it just come out from sometime no reason, and we just have to accept it, that it is part of you. It is this that was part of me. I didn't
yeah,
like it, and I never told my wife about that until several years later. But just an example of sometime, even if you appear to be in control, you look in control. I remember talking to police like I'm talking to you, like there's nothing. But inside, I was like, oh, I couldn't get back on the road and speed up again, to get there as soon as possible, because I had given my word to my wife that I would be there, and it was very important for her. Anyway, so that's just
yeah.
a thing that I meant to
Very
share
beautiful.
first time
Yes.
with anyone.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it really touches the heart when we are working with passion and love and compassion that drives us moving forward. And what you are sharing is that is when we are in our space, we get to do what we want to do and take things in a more
Yeah.
constructive way. And yeah, fantastic. And tell us a little bit about the miracles that has happened. I mean, I know you said we are living miracles, but is there any specific miracles that you have in your life that has showed up?
I had a few. One, I guess that some people might have experienced, like an accident, a car, and um, I used to, as you can assume, I enjoy going fast driving. It's not like that anymore for the last 20 years. But before that, when I was young, I think I could have been a car racer. And it did happen a few times that I was just like, I would just stop and said, "Oh, I have to stop doing that." That was a miracle that just happened. My daughter was born. Only one of six that survived. We lost five babies at birth or shortly after birth, and that one survived. But what happened, and that's a very long story. I keep it very short. But um, uh, my wife went in labor very early, about 19 weeks into the labors in labor, and during the pregnancy, I mean, 19 weeks. And so she ended up in the hospital and they stopped laboring. And then and she stayed 13 weeks laying down in a hospital bed so that, because every time they would stop the medication, she would start laboring again. Anyway, so they decided to check in, and get a ultrasound of the baby inside. We knew it was a girl, and they saw no activity at all in the brain. So she
Oh,
was brain dead. And so they told us, say, well, just sign here and we're just going to hand it right away. And we kind of, I really believe in higher spirit. There's something bigger than us and all that. And I kind of surrendered and said, hey, so be it. Whatever it is, this means we already lost five. This is the last one. We can't go through that anymore. And then we decided to let nature take its course. That okay, if the baby lives, the doctors were saying she might live a few hours, might live a few days. If by miracle that she lives more than a few months or a year, she'll be a vegetable. She will no control on anything about her, and her brain would be no thinking. No, she'd be nothing. She'd be just a thing. So we give it a go anyway. So nature will take its course. And make a long story short, now she's 20, almost 28-year old. We realized that 4-year old we had an evaluation done for IQ, and at that point she had 160 IQ, and that's the highest you can have at that age. So she's in probably 170, 180 IQ, extremely intelligent. So the bottom line was that what they realized is that, and then there was a huge change in all the hospitals. I don't know if it's around the world, whatever. We were in Canada at the time, but they changed that. Is the calibration of the ultrasound machine was not strong enough to really perceive all the high speed of activity in a baby, because it's so small and all that. It was so much hyperactivity there that it looked like it was brain dead,
oh
but
my God.
actually it was hyperactivity. And that is a sign of someone that has the potential to be a genius, very high IQ, like my daughter. So to me, that was a miracle, because
Yes.
we should have terminated. We should, if we have listened to everyone around, all the nurses all around, our relatives, to say, don't go through that. It'll be a few months, a year, that you're going to no life or anything. And if she survives, she'll be a vegetable for her whole life. You don't want to go through that. And we decided to go with our heart, with what we thought was the right thing, to let nature take its course. And it was a blessing to me. It was a miracle. That's just one of several miracles, I believe, that
Mhm.
in my life.
Wow, that sounds, it's really heartwarming and really magical. We know how much, your daughter means to you, and you've always talked about her whenever you travel to Asia and meet us up. And so it's so beautiful to hear that
Yeah.
awesome
Thank
the
you.
information on this
And you know
platform.
what? I'll add one little thing.
Yes.
She is directly responsible for everything I'm doing today. Since the age of 11, when she asked me to start a nonprofit to help other kids to benefit from the energy and the healing effects of horses
Yeah.
on certain type of kids, especially
Good.
people that have difficulty, mental difficulties and all that, and then that changed my life, and everything since then has been about that, and creating and empowering others. Not only from that, it has evolved since then, but she's directly responsible for this. So to me, that's another miracle, because I don't think I'm not old at all. I'm 65 year young, so I still have many, many, many years to go. But I have a purpose. I have a purpose in life. I know what that was meant to be, and that came from that little miracle that happened almost 28 years ago.
Very beautiful, Dr. Serge. It's wonderful to hear that because at the end of the day, we just talked about earlier on, just before we got on the call, right? About the why and why people are not able to move forward in life. And the word miracle is sometimes misunderstood as
Yeah,
something that they just want to wait and for things to happen. Whereas here we're talking about when we have a why, the miracles just manifest by itself. And that's why, today when I put on the quote, everything you can imagine is real. It's really our, the why that we have, and all the information that comes to us is real, and we need to work on it with intentions, with actions, moving forward to manifest it in life. Yeah.
absolutely.
So you have anything to say before we end the session? I think it was so beautiful. And, I know these informations you have not really shared it with much people online. Definitely we have done it in classes, but not in online like that.
Yeah, I think the last thing I probably mentioned that just came to mind is that I've been asking myself that question, the same question today that I was asking that for myself about the technical side, of that platform, and that the Inspiraton. And last week, there were other people on the call and all that. So somebody else gave you a number, or it actually was the guest that gave you the number, whatever it was. And I thought of the number 37 also last week.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this week, I didn't think of it about it at all. It's only when you ask me, if is there anything else that I'd like to add, and I said, oh, that's 37. That was last week also.
No, last week was not 37, 36.
No, no, for me, I
For
picked
you.
37.
You.
I
Okay.
picked
Okay.
37 last week, but you didn't use 37. I didn't know
That's
what
right.
37 was. And
Okay.
and this week, that was 37 again that came to mind. And then the message that you gave me. So that's something to pay attention to.
Yes, it's so powerful because when we are very aware and conscious of messages that comes to us, and they can come in any shape, size, or form, and that's why for me, I'm always aware of what's going on. Sometimes people think it's a bit complicated, but for me, it's like that's how I get messages and I get signs. And when people show up, when mentors show up, I feel like okay, we are on track, and like what you shared today has been so amazing, like the information that we need to receive, and all these wonderful details that's being given to us, and these thoughts and actions that we are being uh, sowed with, right? It's not something that we asked for, it's something that's given to us. Then how we're going to be working on it to further enhance. And that's where this ebook has been very handy for me. It's like, okay, what is it that I have to get? So that's how it has been working. And thank you so much. And we are so excited that so many beautiful things are showing up for people. And as we round up November and go into the last month of the year 2028, we have a beautiful, amazing things in store for everyone. And I'm so happy, Dr. Search, we could have this conversation with you like never before,
Yeah.
and that too live, and leave a message for the audience for the year.
Message of the year. Oh, this is just the beginning of the rest of your life. Whatever you do from today on is the most important in your life.
Everybody take a deep breath in on that.
That's what you're going to be remembered from or by.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Serge. It's wonderful. And thank you everyone for watching in, and please leave a comment, and if you like what you're seeing, definitely you should be sharing this so that more people can be impacted and inspired for a live that starts today. All right. Thank you so much and have a blessed week ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Azeeza.
Serge. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.